It was late February 2025 when Claire Dubois, a 28-year-old grad student studying Southern history, decided to visit the LaLaurie Mansion during a research trip to New Orleans. The grey 3-story house on Royal Street, built in 1832, was a private residence now, but its past, torture chambers, enslaved people brutalized by Delphine LaLaurie, drew ghost hunters and scholars alike. Claire, armed with a notebook and a skeptical mind, roped in her friend Malik, a 29-year-old barista with a love for urban legends, to join her for an after-hours tour arranged through a local contact. "If it's creepy, I'm sold," Malik said, slinging a flashlight over his shoulder. They arrived on February 24th, a muggy Tuesday night, the French Quarter buzzing faintly beyond the mansion's iron gates. The air was thick with jasmine and the sour tang of the Mississippi, but inside it shifted, stale, heavy, like stepping into a sealed vault. Their guide, a wiry woman named Elise with a Cajun drawl, led them through the dim parlor, her lantern casting jagged shadows on the peeling wallpaper. "Folks hear chains up there," she said, nodding toward the attic stairs. "Screams too, don't linger." The first floor was quiet, save for the creak of floorboards and the distant hum of Bourbon Street. Claire jotted notes, ornate chandeliers, faded portraits, while Malik swept his flashlight over the walls, half expecting a ghost to jump out. Upstairs, the air grew denser, the smell sharpening to something metallic, like blood or rust. In the second-floor hallway, a cold draft brushed Claire's neck, though the windows were shut tight. She rubbed it off, but Malik paused, his beam catching a faint scratch on the banister, jagged, fresh, like fingernails dragged down wood. The attic stairs loomed at the end of the hall, narrow and steep, the wood warped and stained. Elise hesitated. "That's as far as I go." Claire pressed on, curiosity outweighing unease, Malik trailing with a muttered, "This is how horror movies start." The attic was a low, slanted space, its rafters draped in cobwebs, the floor littered with dust and splintered boards. A single cracked window let in a sliver of moonlight, glinting off a rusted chain coiled in the corner. Too real, too untouched to be a prop. A low rattle broke the silence, the chain trembling as if tugged by an unseen hand. Claire's pen froze mid-sentence. Malik's flashlight flickered. "Tell me you heard that," he whispered. Before she could answer, the rattle grew, joined by a scraping sound, like metal dragging across wood, circling the room. The temperature plunged, their breaths clouding, and the window slammed shut, the glass rattling in its frame. Claire's notebook slipped, pages fluttering, as the scraping sharpened into a wail, thin, anguished, echoing from the walls. Malik swung his light, catching a glimpse, a figure hunched in the shadows, its limbs twisted, head cocked, chains dangling from its wrists. It didn't move, just stared, its eyes glinting like wet coins. Claire choked out, "We're leaving." But the stairs creaked behind them, footsteps ascending, slow, deliberate, though Elise was gone. The wail split into voices, pleas, sobs, names, help, no, madame, swirling around them, the chain in the corner uncoiled, slithering across the floor, and the figure lunged, vanishing mid-step, only to reappear inches from Malik, its breath a rancid gust on his face. He yelled, dropping the flashlight, and Claire grabbed his arm, bolting for the stairs. The footsteps behind them quickened, the chains clattering, and the attic door slammed shut as they reached it, the lock clicking. In a panic, Malik kicked the door, wood splintering, and they tumbled into the hall, the wail chasing them down the stairs. The front door was ajar, Elise nowhere in sight, and they spilled into the street, gasping, Back at their Airbnb, Claire found her notebook in her bag, its last page scrawled with words she hadn't written. "You heard us." Malik's flashlight, retrieved later by Elise, wouldn't turn on, its lens etched with tiny chain-like scratches.